the Assembly for the welfare of society and the just government of the people. We beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants, whom you have been pleased to call the performance of important trusts in this county and the Republic of Kenya. Let your blessing descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our county and of those whose interests you have committed to our church. Amen. Confirm whether we have quorum.
Honorable Speaker, quorum is not present.
Let the quorum bell be rung for 10 minutes.
Honorable Speaker, quorum is now present.
Orders of the business.
Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, papers.
Next order.
Order number 5, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Honorable Robert Kirwa.
Thanks, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this chance to respond on behalf of the Committee on Lands, Environment and Natural Resources and Climate Change. I raise to respond to the statement sorted by Honorable Kipkuru Chepkon on 22 May 2019 as follows. Honorable Kipkuru had question number 1 had asked the percentage of forest cover in Nandi County as per Kenya Forest Service report 2016 is approximately 26.2% to achieve 10% forest covered by Department of Lands, has put in the place several measures as detailed in page 2 to 4. So, honorable members, you can check page 2 to 4. Response to your request dated 16 June 2019, the percentage of the forest cover in Nandi County, the plan in place to achieve the national target of 10% forest cover. The state has an extension of deforestation per sub-county, which include government lands, deforested, cascaded forestry, other forestry affecting the rebellion land degraded. The partner who are supporting the county government in the response of the environment, there are identified types of support and extension for facilitation to indicated. Initial program in the country toward environment conservation. Deforestation in Nandi County. So, Mr. Speaker, members can read forest cover in Nandi County results as follows. County Integrated Plan, CIDP 2018, they can read. Education and awareness campaigns there, and policy and bills development. Kenya Forest Service, KFS plan for the cascaded forests. I think they can read there. And then County Integrated Plan, CIDP Annual Development Plan, ADB and Annual Budget Estimate, they can read. County Climate Change Policy, SSSP. 3, County Climatic Change Fund. 4, Nandi County Climate Change Action Plan 2018-2022. Question number 2. Honorable Kipkuru, it has on the extent status of deforestation by sub-county. Full detail have been provided in page 5 and 6 for the attached copies. So, honorable members, you can read there. Question number 3, Honorable Speaker, on part of the statement, I wish to report that the country governor is indeed in collaboration with other stakeholders in forest restoration activity. This is well explained in page 7 to 11. So honorable members can pass there and then can read. And question number 5, Mr. Speaker, Honorable Krieg asked on the issues of initial program as captured in page 4 of the statement. The land department submit information as allied in page 12 to page 14. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, the honorable members want to know deforestation threats in the Nandi County. This has been applied between response to page 16. So, honorable member, can pass on page 16 and the answers are there. Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Robert Kirwa, it seems today you are in the base of your moods. I can see that you are clearly step by step leading the honorable member, and please address the entire house, not only the honorable Kipkuru point. Upon asking the question, it is for the benefit of all members.
So the question number 5, we can read on page 16. The deforestation drive in Nandi County. The two major deforestation drives in Nandi counties are Ara, poverty, ignorance, and poor implementation of policies and regulation. So, Mr. Speaker, I think I have responded honorable members in this house. Thanks.
You can see the members are acknowledging the way you handle. I don't know whether the honorable member, self-proclaimed leader of marginalized, is in any position to give you the same accolade. Honorable Kipkuru.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to appreciate the response by the Chairman or Committee on Land and Environment and Water on the issues that I had raised, Honorable Speaker. He has tried his best. Only I want to make a few observations from the response that is given. One, that clearly it is now clear to all of us that the forest cover in Nandi is 26.2%, which is above the 10% nationally. Only that, Honorable Speaker, he should have been able also to give us a comparison to say, if we are doing 26.2%, that is within Nandi. That is to say, Nandi County is doing 26%. Of course, there is the challenge now that we are talking about Mau, and part of Nandi forests in the Mau complex, that is the Tindret block, I think all the way to Serengoni. It forms part of Mau block. And Honorable Speaker, this statement I sought a while back. It would have been also important because this was in May. As we talk, Honorable Speaker, is the potential eviction of people from the Mau complex. And I can assure these honorables that those who are going to be evicted, there is none in Tindret forest, both not and both the entire Tindret forest as part of Mau complex. Only that, Honorable Speaker, when I went through what the chairman was referring in the pages, I identified a few discrepancies that is very important that we highlight. I like the reference that have been made. If Honorable Mengech would be given to mark this, if this was an exam, I am sure this statement by the committee or the chairman of this committee would score above 70%. The only challenge is the practicability of some of the issues that have been used as a response. If I refer, Honorable Speaker, to the pages that the chairman indicated, if you look at page 4 of the statement, the reference to quite a number of policy documents, this is academic. It's purely academic. Because if you look at page 4, saying the same project, that would be the title on the initiatives that have been done. If you look at page 3, it says the county government and the preparedness and plan to restore and increase forest cover from 26.2 to 30% by year 2023. You look at the documents that they have been able to put in place. It says county integrated development plan, climate change policy draft, and Climate Change Bill, which we have not seen yet. Climate Change Action Plan 18 to 22, these are national programs. The policies, Strategic Ecosystems Management, County Environment Committee. What about County Environment Committee? Partnerships, Directorate. Then you look at page 4 on the documents. It says, the third number, is number 3. First of all, even says on number 2, County Climate Change Policy. The county government of Nandi, in partnership with ADP, have developed a Nandi County Climate Change Policy. This document is still a draft, and soon it will be forwarded to the County Assembly for debate and adoption. We have not seen that yet. Then 3 says County Climate Change Fund. County government of Nandi, in partnership with ADS Western, is in process of establishing Nandi County CCF. The foundation of the CCF is in the CCP. CCP is the one that they said County Climate Change Policy, which is not there. The document is expected to be ready by end of June 2019. As we are talking about September. We are in September. So where is this policy now? It should have been part of the response to say, now this is the policy that has been developed to address the issue of restoration and reforestation of forests. So those are the discrepancies that are clear here. And you notice, Honorable Speaker, quite a number of the policies, approaches that the chairman is making reference to are national policies. We are in a county government. We are expected to domesticate some of these policies to be able to address our challenge. Because I'm giving an example. There is a challenge nationally of the percentage of land under forest cover. But in Nandi, we are not doing badly. But then again, we are talking about national policies that have not been domesticated. So, Honorable Chair, that is one other discrepancy that I thought it will be clear to the chairman that we ought to have those policies for fast track to be able to come to the County Assembly of Nandi. Now, thirdly, you go to page 6. Talking about degradation of wetlands and escarpments. Now, this is where we have a big problem. They have only talked about wetlands, rivers. You look at the wetlands that have been identified, we are still talking about the same wetlands that all of us know. But there are wetlands, especially in Mosop, that have not been protected yet. And we are in the second circle of devolution. If you read the second part of the first paragraph, there are other wetlands, 90 acres, Chemngetum, in Lesos, Mutuot, in Mosoriot. Now, Honorable Speaker, these wetlands, there is an action plan that was discussed in the first government under Governor Lagat on how to address these wetlands. I thought this is a perpetual government, that there should be measures already in place to be able to address this. We cannot only be talking about Kingwal and Kibirong in Nandi. We have quite a huge number of wetlands that needs to be protected. Then again, there are 7 major rivers in Nandi. These are Ainamngetuny, Mogong, Kipkaren, Yala, Kimondi, Kundos, and Kesis. Honorable Speaker, there is a very big river that serves runs into Lake Victoria in my ward called Mbogo River. And it is within Nandi County. It is not in Nyanza. It emanates from Tinderet Forest. In fact, the 2 major rivers that emanate from Tinderet Forest on the Nandi side is Mbogo River and Ainamngetuny. The other one is Gipchorian, which is in flowing from the Kericho side of Tinderet Forest. So, Honorable Speaker, I wonder, when the chairman excludes Mbogo River in this report, I would be asking, where are they putting Mbogo River? It is part of Nandi, it is in Tinderet ward, and it will be amongst them. So I think that is a question that I would want to ask the chairman to clarify. Where is Mbogo River? Or is this the same thing that I'm saying? Were these reports extracted from the internet? Or it is real? And he who is writing, is he a member, is he a resident of Nandi? Or the people who don't understand where Nandi is? Then, Honorable Speaker, they have mentioned about escarpments in the first part, that there are a number of wetlands, rivers, and escarpments in Nandi County. And they have not been able to enumerate the escarpments. And as we speak, one of the escarpments that is under, which we have disputed largely in Tindred, is Nandi escarpment, which has been renamed or named in a name I wouldn't want to say. So I expected them to also include the escarpments, because one of the reasons why we are talking about reforestation and restoration of forests is we indicated clearly that we expect the Department of Lands and Natural Resources and Environment to, even as we are talking about 26.2% of forest cover in Nandi, and they are saying they want to achieve 30%. Among us, the places that they can be able to achieve that is through planting of trees in the escarpments. As we speak, Honorable Speaker, some of the escarpments in Tindred, including the one in Kapsimoto, as we speak, the tree cover is low, and that poses a threat to the members of the public who are living there, or even those who are living downhill. Because, Honorable Speaker, with the such rains that are heavy as we speak, the potential for mudslides is high, and that is only being brought about by the issue of deforestation, including even Uson in Lower Kapchorwa. So, Honorable Speaker, I expected the committee, once they mention about the escarpments, to also name the escarpments, including one in Mosop, Chemngabai. I hear so. So, Honorable Speaker, that is an anomaly that I thought the committee should note. And I am happy about what I am seeing in page 7. When you look at page 7, Honorable Speaker, we have a lot of money. The partners who are supporting the county government in restoring the environment. Number one is EU on conservation, 185.5 million. Honorable Speaker, I think this is the first time we are getting to know that we have such amount of money. The question is, what projects specifically? We have talked about conservation, but what components of conservation are we talking about? And where are these programs going to be run? So that, Honorable Speaker, we don't hear that EU has brought 185.5 million to be spent on conservation, and then tomorrow still we are looking at the forests that have been deforested, and there is nothing about it. So, Honorable Speaker, I expected the chairman, after he delvages that there are 185.5 million from EU, and is it a conditional grant? Or how is this money? Is it part of what we get as conditional grants or support from EU, and how is it being implemented? So I think, Chair, that needs to be indicated, and the duration is 3 years. So how much has been spent this far, on what, and where? So I think that's a question that I would expect the chairman to report on that, Chair, Honorable Speaker. So, but largely, Honorable Speaker, I want to say that the committee has tried their best. Moving to page number 12. When you look at page number 12, Honorable Speaker, all of us are aware that at some point there was a directive from the county for the removal of the eucalyptus trees along the river banks and river sources. However, what happened? It stopped at some point. And yet, the chairman has indicated in page 12 that there is a restoration order for entire riparian land in Nandi County. And he has attached the contents of that order, but has not said anything about it. He has not told us how much was achieved, how many rivers or river sources have been restored, or where the eucalyptus trees were planted, and how many have been felled or cleared, and to what extent have they achieved this order. So, Honorable Speaker, I think that is a question that needs to be responded to, and I would urge the committee, the committee chair, to ensure that we have that statement, because we want to understand. We don't want to be running programs in the county which dies along the way, or which, if it meets challenges, it is important that we get to know what are these challenges. Because, for example, in Tinderet, quite a number of, out of the 6 locations that I have, about 4 locations, they were able to implement this. But there are some locations which, midway, as they were implementing, the chiefs and the village administrators or village elders were administering, there was another communication, I don't know whether written or verbal, that they need to slow down on it. So why? The question we're asking ourselves is why? And the committee has not. They have only highlighted that there is that order for removal of the eucalyptus trees. So, Honorable Speaker, I think to some level, not necessarily that the questions have been answered to the satisfaction, but the answers that we have been given, Honorable Speaker, gives us an indication of what even more to ask, including the 1.185 million, the issue of the order, and if you look, I was also looking at the issue of the restoration or the amount of land under forest cover in acreage. And I think if you look at page 3, Honorable Speaker, those which have been indicated targets for planting, for rehabilitation and plantations. They have indicated here Kimondi for plantation 110 acres. I think this is where Honorable Kevolwe normally makes a living from. For rehabilitation is only 15 acres. In Serengonik, 80 acres for plantation, 4.5 for rehabilitation. Not Nandi, 150 for plantation, 150 acres for plantation, and 5 for rehabilitation. Now, Tinderet, they're saying for plantation 40 acres, and for rehabilitation only 7 acres. I think even if I'm not a surveyor, Honorable Speaker, I will tell you this. The amount of land that needs to be rehabilitated in Tinderet Ward or Tinderet Forest is not 7 acres. If I was to, and I have challenged the committee before, that they need to visit Tinderet Forest bordering Kericho side, where a lot of deforestation has been done by residents of Kericho County, and it is not 7 acres. It is more than 7 acres. That section alone, towards Kunyak, it is more than 7 acres. And even if you come to Kosabe, where members of residents were evicted in, I think, 2005, it is not 7 acres that need to be rehabilitated. It is more than 20 acres. Even if you are to look across in Cherungut, where also people were evicted, it is not 7 acres. It is more than 30 acres. So in total, the amount of land that I know that needs to be rehabilitated is not 7 acres. So I think at this point, I question the data that the chairman has been able to talk about. Now, I am at this point, now I'll still ask. Now, they say 7 acres in Tinderet Forest, and it is supposed to be more. Why have they been able to exclude that needs to be rehabilitated? And for the plantation, 40 acres, it's okay. 40 acres, we normally, Tinderet Forest is largely indigenous, and it is not fell. It is not like Imondi, where we plant cypress, we harvest after 8 or 10 years. No, it is indigenous, and that's how we love it that way. So, Honorable Speaker, those are the glaring issues that probably the chairman can clarify if he has the answers, or he needs to clarify further in another additional response. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Maybe the Honorable Chair, Honorable Robert Kirwa, you would have to still wait a little bit if there is anybody who has an issue with what you've responded, so that you can respond. Fair enough. Okay, Honorable Serem.
Thank you, Chair. Just a concern, this requirement for removing trees within the roads, within the water, within the river banks. I will still ask through the chair, the speaker, that the committee follows up. There are places, for example, in my ward, which is a source of a river, and we have eucalyptus trees planted indeed up to almost to the river itself. And the last time, the person who has planted the trees wanted to question us for tapping water from that source. And I thought it is the right time now, even me, I question the planting of the eucalyptus trees around there. So the committee can still follow up. There are places where it has not been implemented fully, so that these policies are not applied impartially. You don't become too adamant on one person and you relax on another. And the policy should apply across the board. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Robert Kirwa, what do you have to say about the sentiment raised by Honorable Kipkurui and Honorable Serem?
Asante sana Bwana Spika kwa kunipatia hiyo nafasi kujadili ambayo Honorable Kipkurui amesema. Honorable Kipkurui amesema maneno mengi. Kama committee ya lands tumeketi, kwanza zingine iko kwa executive, so wangetupatia hiyo time alafu niweze kurespond vizuri. Kama hii bluga ya kupandwa karibu na maji, implementation ijafanywa vizuri kwa county, hiyo ilikuwa ya national, lakini ijewekwa wakati katika county yetu ya Nandi. So tungepatiwa muda alafu tuweze kueleza mzuri, ingekuwa vizuri sana.
Fair enough, Honorable Robert Kirwa. As the chair, you've sought for more time to respond to the few issues. As a committee, you sit and make sure that we have a response, including what Honorable Serem has said concerning the eucalyptus. So I think there are a number of areas that you need to still make follow-up on this particular response. Next order.
Point of inquiry, Honorable Chair.
Yes,
Honorable Speaker, I think it would be important that the Honorable Chair clearly indicates the issues that he's seeking more time on, because there are quite a number of issues that we have raised, and we wouldn't want next time that he comes, he is not be able to respond to all of them, because there are about 4 issues that we sought further clarification. One is on the implementation of the order to remove or clear eucalyptus trees along the river banks or on the river sources. 1. 2 is on the implementation and status of 185.5 million that has been indicated to be funding conservation in Nandi by EU, and also the programs and sites or where the programs are going to be implemented, Honorable Speaker. Additionally, is on the escarpments in Nandi and all the rivers in Nandi, to also include the projects and programs that have been earmarked for restoration or reforestation of the same escarpments and on the status of the rivers. Those are the issues that I thought needs to be very clear. And fourthly, Honorable Speaker, is on the issue of the policy in reference that they mentioned, the one that I think was in page county climate change policy. It is also important that it needs to be very clear on what we expect as further response.
Fair enough, Honorable Kipkurui. I think you raised those issues, and I have heard clearly the Honorable Chair. He has acknowledged that you have raised several issues and that he's seeking more time. Tentatively, I think Honorable Robert Kirwa, you should need to be specific on the timelines. So that we make follow.
Asante sana Bwana Spika, unaweza kunipatia karibu wiki 2 hivi nitakuwa nimepata majibu. Asante sana.
Fair enough. As you've clearly indicated, you will be responding on those issues raised. I think it is not limited to 185 million as Honorable Kipkurui is talking about. The House will be much interested in learning to know about all those other agencies that we have talked of as partners, what they are doing in terms of restoration and conservation. Fair enough, that is it. Next order.
Order number 8, adjournment.
There being no other business, the House stand